Hello and welcome back to Living Not Existing. As always, I'm Josh, and well, today is finally the grand plant out. So we're going to be getting the beds fully made up, all to shape, and then like the bed edges and stuff done on the new bit that was all rotavated, and then getting basically all of these plants that are out here planted out, hopefully, or that's the plan anyway. You're going to see how much I can actually get done. So yeah, basically that's it really, and then there's going to be a few bits and bobs like the tomatoes, for example, that are just going to be getting potted on as opposed to planted out. So, but it's going to be stuff like that getting sorted out today, really. So, yeah, might as well just jump straight into it, really, and get outside and get cracking. So, yeah, I'll see you outside in a second. Right, so we're now outside, and basically, what's going to be happening first is the idea of things is, see. The bed here, which is the herb garden bed, is, well, as you can see then, it's got a little bit of greenery all over on the soil now, because obviously recent weather and since it's been dug over, the little weeds have all started to shoot back through. So that's just going to get, Rachel's she's going to do, she's going to rake over that first, just to clear out all those little bits of weeds and stuff like that, just to try and just churn them up so they'll die off, and then basically start getting all the herbs planted. So as you can see now, is obviously some of them just sort of roughly laid out. I've still got some to bring outside from in the greenhouse and sort of figure it out a bit, but first job, let's say, Rachel's going to get raking that over, and then we'll have a workout and figure exactly which herbs want to be in relation to the others and stuff like that, and as well as future stuff that's going to go into the herb garden as well, but that's all to be figured out at a later date. So Rachel's going to crack on with that first for now. Meanwhile, what I'm going to be doing is all of this bed area, which was rotavated last week, all of this bed area, basically I'm going to start making all the bed edges and putting the paths in the same as these two with the herb garden, and then just that other bed there. So I'm going to make a start doing that while Rachel makes a start raking that all over, and Archie squeaks away and tries to help out. So we'll get cracking on all of that, and then I'll show you how things are coming on. Right, so me and Rachel have now been getting on and getting these all sorted. So as you can see there, Rachel's now giving all that bed a good dig over again, just ready to give it a bit of a hoe with breaking up all the chunks, and then rake it all over as well, get it all nice and smooth, ready for things going in. And I've made a good start getting these edges put in now. Just need to obviously carry on quite a bit more to get all this sectioned off and stuff like that, but I'm sort of thinking this main area here of just doing basically just a really big bed, just one fully big bed, and then having another one of those little types there type area is what I'm thinking. But then Ruth, Rachel's mum, has come down to join again, and she's here to help with Rachel, just looking after Archie there. And what she's going to do, she's opted in, and she's going to make a start sorting out that monstrosity. So what she's going to do first is just move some stuff, and then basically just start attacking the weeds and the soil. So we'll get cracking on doing all of that, and I'll show you the progress of how things are coming on.
Windmill, windmill for the land, love forever hand in hand. Take it all out on your stride, it is taking voting down. Love forever, love is free, let's turn forever, you and me.
Right, so the beds and paths are now completed, or at least the ones which are going to be getting used today are anyway. There's still obviously some more to be done on the rest of the plot, but as far as things go for today and actually getting the plants that are going out today out and planted and stuff like that, it's now completed. And it's a little bit further than on that time lapse there, just because actually ran out of power when recording, so it cut out. But yeah, so basically the only bit that was done extra there is obviously just putting the rest of this path in and finishing off the edge of this bed, and that's about it really. And for over here, but then and I think with Rachel giving everything all just a bit more of a rake over as well, there's that. But yeah, and then over here Ruth has been hard at work and Rachel's joined in, and then Pauline, Ruth's mum, has come to join as well on the good dig, and there's Pauline. But yeah, so then just digging away, Archie's helping as well. So Ruth's been doing a great job getting everything cleared off and got basically all of those weeds there chopped off, obviously, as you saw how much of a mess this was before. So they're just now giving this a good turnover, dug over, ready for it then, as you can see Archie helping, ready for when it's time to get this rotivated over and then things planted. And I'm thinking probably over here this year is probably going to be the potato bed or something like that. So, but I haven't actually got my seed potatoes yet, so this is obviously not too urgent for it, but it is fairly urgent for it to all be done. But yeah, so that's that. So what I'm going to do now, while that's all getting dug over and turned over and stuff, is I'm going to start figuring out and laying out where I'm going to be putting plants in here, and I might even put a couple in as well. But yeah, so I'm going to make a start figuring this all out, and then I'll show you that when I've sort of got things laid in a rough location before I put them in. So yeah, I'll crack on with that now. Right, so I've now figured everything out, well, pretty much everything, and I've laid the majority of stuff out and had a good measure and everything. I've actually been using tape measure for once and properly doing things. So but yeah, so I'm going to start off with showing basically where everything's going to go, and then just going to crack on and get everything put in. So as for the herb garden area, I'm going to start off smallish on the herb garden and gradually build my herb garden bigger, because I want to have a bit of a medicinal herb garden going as well, with all different things. And but I found this article with all sorts of stuff, and you wouldn't believe what actual herbs have like medicinal qualities, even just for stuff like settling your stomach, like you would have rennie and stuff like that. And there's different things like I think it's thyme does something with your stomach and stuff like that, so it's quite surprising. So I'm actually going to try and really sort of fill this out with all different things like that. But for now, I've obviously got what I've got. So I've got some lavender here, then I've got my dill and coriander. Just going to go pretty much sort of how they're laid out. They'll obviously change a little bit because there's only obviously a couple of plants in each thing. But yeah, so it's going to be like that. Then I've got my oregano, sage, thyme, basil, and then my parsley's going to go there as well, but that's in a joint tub with the California wonder peppers, so I haven't brought that outside yet, because I'm still a bit scared of killing off those California wonder peppers, because they're going really well at the moment and I don't want to kill them. So but yeah, so on the other side of the herb garden for this year, or probably until I get different plants as well to go in, I'm going to be having my spring onions, radishes, and then chives in this area as well. Here, just basically, as I say, laid out as they are. So that's this bed area, is how that's going to be laid out. And then on the opposite side to that is where I'm going to have my sweet corn in this area here. Now I've laid out these planks between the areas just as a bit of easy vision for me to see where things are going, really, and just a bit of organisation, just so that I can walk between the crops and stuff should I need to do anything to them during the time they're growing, and it makes it a bit easier for me to be able to water them as well. But yeah, so this is where the sweet corn's going to grow, and I've put this lot at the back because obviously, as you know, sweet corn plants, they grow stupidly tall, and I didn't want it blocking any light for anything else. So I've tried to take that into consideration with a lot of things as well. So then the next thing which I've sort of was looking at is sprouts. Now I've brought these out here at the moment, and these are going to go on the next bed down here. And however, the plants themselves, I'm actually going to leave them in there and in the actual growing tub in the greenhouse for a bit longer, because they're not quite really big enough to come outside yet. They'd probably be alright, but for the sake of just leaving them in the greenhouse for a week or two and just having the area ready to put them straight in, I'm just going to do that and just let them get a little bit older before I plant them out. Because they're actually they're a winter harvest one, so they're more harvestable about November, December time, because ideally I wanted them for like Christmas dinner. So I've chosen that variety. I can't remember the actual name of the variety off the top of my head, but I've got that variety, so they're a bit later growing, so I've got them there for that. The next bed on this side is where I'm going to put all my beans, and where I'm going to put my pea plant. Well, pea plants, should I say. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to have the runner beans going in a strip down here. But what I'm going to do with the runner beans, if you remember before, with the runner bean plants from last year that died off. I actually harvested all the beans out of them, which obviously are seeds as well. So I've actually got a fair few of them. So what I'm going to do is, yet again, I'm going to do another little experiment, sort of as I did with the sweet corn, which sort of showed that we're basically just the same anyway. But I just thought, a bit of interesting, and what I'm going to do is the runner beans out of the packet, I'm going to put in sort of this first section here, and then the ones that are harvested off of the plant, I'm going to put in this sort of second section of the run of the runner beans, and then see which ones crop up first, because I'm just going to direct sow into the ground outside, and see which ones come up first, and then also if there's any difference in how the plants are growing and stuff. Just a bit of interestingness, just to see if it's worth maybe keeping a few of your own beans to then sow for the following year and not buy any seeds, just even though it's only a couple of quid per packet. Just one of those little interesting things, so I thought I'd experiment with that. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for the first row of things. The next row, I'm going to be putting my Hurst green shaft peas in, so just as a separator between a couple of different bean plants, and they'll grow quite nice in there as well, for 3 different rows of things. Now the next ones I'm going to put in are the dwarf French beans, and they're going to be the next ones to go in on the 3rd row. And when I was just looking for beans then, I just went and I was looking for the magic beans that I'd had left over from last year, which yet again I harvested the same as the runner bean plants, just to be able to plant them again this year. And unfortunately, they've all gone mouldy. So, obviously not going to be any good. However, if anyone knows any different as to whether if they're going to actually be any use at all, even though they've all gone mouldy, then please do leave a comment down below and let me know, because I'll keep hold of them in case anyone says, no, you can still plant them, they will still grow. So, and because I think they were belotti beans, but still don't really know what they are. So, but yeah, so it's a bit of a shame that they've now died off, probably. But yeah, so there's that. But I'm going to be planting broad beans eventually as well, once I get some seeds, because I've got some overwinter growing broad beans. But I'm going to be getting some sort of summer broad beans as well and getting them planted in, which, yeah, again, I need to dig more bed area space, or at least use that area over there potentially to grow them. But for now, that's the beans and peas situation that I'm going to be doing for this year. Now next on this side is something that I haven't even planted, because I'm going to direct sow it outside and try growing it like that. And this is some of the Thompson and Morgan seeds, and it's the broccoli early purple sprouting is what I'm going to have a go at, just because it looks cool, purple broccoli. I mean, why wouldn't you want something that's a bit of a weird colour? So yeah, so that's going to be just a few of them plants, just in that sort of little region there of growing some of that. Then the next ones on this side is going to be the cauliflower. So as you know, I planted some cauliflower seeds and they've all grown up nice and big now, and they're ready for going in. So I've got them placed down there in position. But I've just had my mate Jess call down, and he's just brought me down his own, 3 more plants of just a different variety, but he had left over from his garden. So I've got them to go in, as well as some red cabbages as well, which are all going to go down there in the sort of regions that you can see down there of where they're going to go. So that's the idea with that lot, where they're all going. And then, last but not least, for things going in down here, is where I'm going to put all my courgettes and cucumbers. So I've got 4 courgettes laid out here, all measured out in position, so they're going to go basically where they are there. And then 3 cucumber plants there, and I'm going to grow them outside, because I tried growing one outside last year and it worked fine. So might as well do it again this year. And I personally can't even eat cucumber, to be honest, so they're specifically basically for my sister, because she loves it like it's going out of fashion, honestly. She can't get enough cucumber, so they're basically for her. But me-wise, I can't eat it, or my stomach will turn inside out. So, but yeah, so that's what's happening with this lot, with how they're all getting planted. But yeah, so that's all of that really. So what I'm going to do now is going to get cracking on with getting all of these put in. And then once I've got them put in, I'll show you how it all looks, because it already, to me, looks amazing with having everything laid out as it already is. So I'll do that and I'll show you when they're in the ground. Right, so everything is now planted. Well, everything that's getting planted today is now planted. And there's actually been a few different changes of things. I've had to change a few things about. So the main one being down here. This is basically what's had to change. So if you remember, I had the spring onions, the chives and the radishes were going to go in this bit. But once I started putting the spring onions in, I realised I had a lot more than I thought. So hence why this entire section of bed is now spring onions. But I love my spring onions, so I'm not bothered by that. I've actually even still got a couple or so left over. So that's what I've had to do there. And then as far as planting everything in here, you can see how it all is now, where it's all in position. So I've just sort of kept things like grouped together, and I'm just going to grow more in like a bush type thing as these are. So rather than spreading them about, and just let them grow fairly dense together. And so what I've done as well with the chives is I've just put them all in that sort of section there, and kept them all together in that fashion instead. Just thinking about it, probably end up chopping quite a lot of it down anyway, and then that'll then make room for more herb things in there at a later date. And then as far as the radishes, they are all in a big line going all the way down this side of the bed. Yeah, and there's also a few just down the top end of that side of the bed as well. Just down here. But then, as you can obviously see, sweet corn's all in. And then down here, all laid out lovely as well. I added a few extra planks, and I added some canes in just to mark out where they're going to be for when I actually start putting some canes in, or some mesh or something of that sort. So of course I've got beans, peas and beans. So there, both sides of these I planted 2 runs of things, of all the seeds, just to try and get a load of plants and just get some really good vines going on there. And then obviously I've left the sprouts patch clear for now, as I said about. And then the early purple sprout and broccoli is in there, just all the seeds, so hopefully that'll start coming through soon. And then, so I've got everything else planted as well, with Rachel's help as well with a lot of this stuff. So she's done a lot of planting as well here, while I was messing around loads with all those spring onions, which took forever. So Rachel was doing excellent getting these red cabbages, and then also all these cauliflower planted as well. So that's all them down there. And then, last but not least, there's the courgettes and the cucumbers, all just in there. Yeah, so that's everything planted now for today. And obviously I'd said at the start how I wanted to try and get the tomatoes potted on as well, and get them all sorted out, as well as probably a couple of other bits and bobs like the ghost chilies and the California wonder peppers. I went to try and get them potted on today. But unfortunately, I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's starting to get dark. So we're actually going to call it a day for today. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get down during the week, hopefully, and get those tomatoes potted on, as well as the ghost chilies and the California wonder peppers as well. So that then they're on to the next stage as well. But unfortunately, ran out of time today. As well as for putting some mesh over. And it's just, we're going to end up losing daylight. So probably what we're going to do now is pack away tools and everything, and then I'll see you in the greenhouse. And meanwhile, Rachel will be doing a bit more sawing of these wooden posts, which you can see down there, and to which we're going to be using them, and they're going to get used to put in the bed just to hold up some netting, just to keep the birds and the butterflies and stuff like that off of all the crops. So while I'm saying goodbye, I'm going to get Rachel doing a bit more sawing, and then we'll try and get those nets on. But if we don't get them on tonight before it gets dark, then they'll get put on within the next couple of days, just because obviously it needs to be on sooner rather than later. So yeah, so we'll pack away and I'll see you in the greenhouse. Well, it's come to that time of day again, time to round things up and say goodbye. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you are all happy with seeing everything come on today. I'm ecstatic because basically the beds have got finished off and everything's got planted out in one day, as well as all of that area over there dug over by Ruth and Pauline and Rachel. And that's now prepped ready for rotivating it, and then getting those bed edges sorted, and then getting like the potatoes and onions and stuff like that over there. because that's where all that lot's going to grow this year. Probably more than likely, I'm thinking either that or under where that trailer is. But I'm undecided as of yet as to where I want to put things. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, I haven't really got much else I can touch on today. You've seen everything, I've talked about it, and yeah, that's it. Barring the fact that I cut my finger wide open earlier, and that's about it that I didn't really say today. So yeah, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all again next week or during the week, probably, which will be on Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that, just showing some bits and bobs and of the tomatoes getting planted on and everything like that. But yeah, so until next time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell button, check out the Facebook and the Instagram links below. And yeah, as always, I'm Josh. I've been Living Not Existing. Goodbye.